Good morning. Here is it. Morning in Sweden, and I know what date it is because I was to the doctor yesterday. So this is October 17, 2023, and it's a turbulence world we live in. I don't have any knowledge about all countries, but it's much going on just now, and we will see in the future. But I am going to talk a little about what's going on in the world in the way I know it. But first I wanted to talk about that I was to the doctor yesterday, and I have been waiting for to come to the doctor, and it is about this terror attack I had been in August 2018, and it goes so very slowly because I am not important person, and I am old, so they don't care so much. So I have been waiting in 5 years now to really be helped to about what damage my body have been in because of the terror attack. You that have followed me, you know that I was on a bus because it was a fire going on at the railway station. I had been to the doctor in another country, in another city, and I was on my way back home, and I should take the train back to my city, and then it was a fire going on at the railway station, and so we had to take bus instead, and it was not ordinary buses they hire. It was tourist buses, and they are very high, those. And so I was going down the stairs when we come to the railway station where we could take the train to our city. All people was running out, and I always wait till the last person to be the last person going out. But in front of the bus, at the bus driver, there was many young, those Arabic boys in between 12 and 15 years old. Those they are very, very bad, many of them. Not everyone. You should not think that I say everyone. It's some of these bad people, and we were in front of the driver, and I was thinking they are going out in the front of the bus, and I was going out in the end of the bus, and I was on my way out, and I was very careful because it was very high up, because the bus had stopped, so we had to go out in the street. first that the tourist bus is very high, and then also it be extra high when we have to go out in the street. So I was very careful, and I was used to, not used, but I have done that before, so I was not scared about to walk out, only to be careful when I go out. But the last thing I remember from the bus was that I was going out step by step, and then I was on my way to fall, but then I hold me so I could come back standing up. But when I was on my way to fall, when I didn't have the balance in the stairs, those young boys was pushing me out in the street. And then I remember seeing myself flying out from the bus. So I was in the spirit and not in my body. So they in afterlife, they helped me to not get any pain and fear. So I come. Next picture I have, memory I have, was that I was laying under a car. It is the car didn't stop for the bus, even if they must have seen us walking out from the bus. And I believe today that, but it's only what I am thinking it happened. It may be not true, but I think they call for that car to drive over someone from the bus, because it should have stopped and let people go out from the bus before they drive away again. And I remember how it smelled, the car, or under the car. And I have a memory that I look up under the car, and then it was in August, so it was dry. In the car was dry under it, so the smell of dust, sand, and gas from the car. And it was a white car. I saw it go backward, go out from, let me out from it, and drive away. And no one cared that I was driving over. And it was a man that I didn't understood, but he protected me because he saw all these Arabic young boys that could do more things to me when I was laying on the street. And I wake up that I was sitting in the water. It had been rain, not that day, but it was still water on the street, on the side of the street. And I was sitting there, and of course shocked, and didn't know why I sit there. And I didn't have any pain because I was in the spirit. And no one called the ambulance, and no one called the police, nothing. So I know, because I asked that man that stood and protected me, I asked him what time it was. And I know I was sitting in the water 45 minutes before an ambulance came, before someone called the ambulance, and no police. I saw a man that was walking around and make notes about what have happened, but I don't know what man it was. It could be from the bus, or police, or a newspaper. I don't know today. I don't have any contact with those people that was in that place, and I have looked in the newspaper, nothing, and that is a spirit thing. It's a spirit war that I should not know, and it can be good to not know an accident. It was a terrible accident because I broke my shoulder in 3 places, and I broke my right knee. Right on the right side, I was broken, and it was not that I fall out from the bus. It was that car that did the damage when it drive over me. Half of the body was driven over, and then I didn't get anything. When I was to the hospital, had a broken. The ambulance gave me like a pipe to take in medicine, so I didn't feel any pain, and I was away with my brain because of that. And I wake up in the hospital emergency room, and 2 nurses came to me. I had laying there because it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was driving over, and in this time I wake up. It was about 1, 2, somewhere there in the night. So it was many hours I had been laying there without knowing it, because I was away of these drugs I got from the ambulance. And then 2 nurses came to me when I wake up, and they say to me, "Why are you laying here? Why are you not going home?" They say to me. And I say to them, "I have not been talking to the doctor yet. It is like the doctor must come and tell that I need to go home." And they look at each other, and he maybe was to my bed. He maybe have done that, but I was away with my brain, so he couldn't talk to me. And then he forget it because there was more people in the emergency room. And they go and talk to the doctor. So it was weird that they didn't know what had happened. And they saw me as I was okay to could walk home at 2 o'clock in the night. But I was far away from my city. I was far away from my home. And as always, there is no one that care for me, that is living, that you can see. Up here in heaven, they care for me. but no person here on earth. And so no one came, and they go into the doctor, and the doctor told them that I have broken my shoulder and broken my knee. And they helped me to get so I could hold the arm still. And then now you can go home. But I say, I can't go home. They don't understand I have broken knee. And I say that I don't have anyone that come and take me from the hospital. And I must have a taxi back home. So it was very weird that accident I was in. And then on my way home, the taxi I got, he fall to sleep because it was about 4, 5 in the morning, and he have been out the whole time, the whole night, driving people, and then he fall to sleep and was on his way to drive out from the road into a barrier that told the traffic to go narrow in the road, and just when he should knock into that, he could drive out in the street again. But I was broken, and he did that, and I was thankful that I had still the medicine in me, so it was not bad. I don't get any pain, but it could make it worse in my body to do that, going very fast on to the side with the car into the road again. And it could have be people driving behind us that could have knocked into us. And then I got double trouble that day. But it was 4 or 5 in the morning, so it was not much traffic. We maybe was by ourselves there on the road, and that's why he fall to sleep also. And so no one care. And it was August 2018, and I was to a gym and took care of my arm. So it was very painful, the arm, and I didn't have any painkiller. And it was very hard to do the exercise in the beginning before it be better. And I was there, and I had got my scooter, so I drove to this with a scooter to the exercise. But it was very painful, as it was the right arm that was broken, the right shoulder that was broken, and I needed that arm to could drive the scooter. So it was very hard going over things in the street to that make the scooter jump. But I did it, and then we should do the training for the balance on my right knee. But the COVID COVID-19 came. So I didn't want to go to any exercise. I tried to do it on my own, and it works well because it was healed, so I could walk again without any help from the healthcare. So if you have some knowledge about your body, you can do very much on your own. And I have been educated in sport. I was in a Swedish team for the bowling, 10-pin bowling, and I have been educated into physiology about the body, so I knew my body, and that's why I get trouble today, because they don't see me as a sport person. They think I lie, and when I say that I don't want that treatment, when they say something about treatment, and now it's in my paper that I don't want to have treatment. I don't want that kind of medicine. But I know, I have no knowledge, but they look at me and they see an old woman. It's very hard for many people to see the young woman in me. They forget that you have a past. You have not been an old woman the whole time. It's very hard. People have hard to imagine, go back in time and see me as a young sport person. And so yesterday, first I have been, now after the COVID-19 is away, but we have it in the north. They have been forced to close down the hospital in the north of COVID-19. So it's still there, but not just here, where I live, in the very south of Sweden. Up in the north, it have started snowing, and we still have fall here. So I'm glad that we don't have any snow. I don't like snow. And so first the first step is in the beginning of this year. After coming back from Jerusalem, I was to eye doctor, and they check out if my balance, I walk very bad, the balance is not good. And I can run in those things if I hold me in something, but my brain can suddenly stop working and I fall. It doesn't know that I have a body. And it have with these spirit things to do, I start to be a spirit and not a human. And so that they look at my eyes, and I got laser treatment in my eyes, but it have nothing with this, the terror attack. But I'm glad I got it. And but I got very much. I got sepsis. I have to lay in a hospital for blood toxic. Did it come to be with a laser? And so I didn't want to go back and do a second. They want me to do a second, but I'm okay with how I can see with my eyes. They are okay. I have glasses on when I watch television, but I don't need it when I walk around in my home. And so I have done that. And yesterday I have been waiting since after the eye doctor. I have waiting a half year. So I was very careful. My daughter want to meet me, but she have uh, she is sick all the time because she do this vegan eating, and she's too slim for to have protection in her body. So she's always sick. So I told her that we can only meet each other after I have been to the doctor, because I have been waiting a half year to get this doctor appointment, and it was yesterday. I was to the neighbor city. It's about 1 hour to drive there, and I was there to the doctor for the ears. Now it was the ears. First the eyes, and now it's the ears they want to check. They do step by step control it to see what's wrong with my balance. And I know it is the brain, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not allowed to say that, and I must go step by step to check me out. And I was to the ears doctor this time, and I was. It was very strange diagnosis I got, and now it's coming. My thinking about it, and it I had hard to hear. I heard in the beginning the sounds when they check out my ears, if I could hear. I heard first, but then I like going away with my brain. But they don't know that. But I know what happened. And the doctor say, this wrong with your ears, he said to me. That damage you have in your ears that we can see. He looked into my ears, and there you were okay. No damage in the building of the ears. But he said that this ear loss, you have had it since your childhood, he said. And I was thinking, no, I have never been treated of my ears something. So I don't recognize it. And he said that, and I was thinking, maybe is it from when the truck drove over me when I was 3 years old, that I know I have find out, the doctor have find out that I have is wrong built. The first time I I knew that it was when I was pregnant that we can have this, that our skeleton, there with the hips around the womb, is crushed, is in pieces. It can happen. And I had that. That's why I was much in pain when I was pregnant, because it hit the pieces in my hips. And that was the first. I remember I have some fragments of memories of being killed of the truck. I remember the fragment of laying there nude at the table in the dark room, and God came and healed me from the damage. But it seems like they didn't build up my body again, uh, like heal the whole body in the way it should. It's only enough to could make me live again. And so my heart is not on the left side. I have my heart in the center of my body. And there is many things in my body that is like a wrong built. And now, yesterday, when he said that you must have had hair loss since birth, he said, but no one, I have not been in school for deaf people or like that. So I was confused. But then I was thinking when I come back home, I was thinking it can maybe have with this drive over by the car. And he say that to me, the doctor, yesterday, that he read that I have been drive over by a car. And that's why I was to him. And then I have thinking that it maybe is also that the brain cause me problem when they should do the hearing test, that my brain was going away because it was signals in my ears, and it seems like it was okay when they did on the first, on the right side of the ears, on the right side they did the signals, but then on the left side I didn't hear anything. I understood this is not good. I was thinking because I didn't heard anything. And my brain had been in that way that I don't hear my neighbors upstairs so much as I did before. So my brain have changed to not to be protected of sounds. So it can have been caused that problem. Now I don't know if I need to go to the ear doctor to get some equipment to hear, because I hear. I am not bad in my hearing, but that can also be something that I have caused because I hear from the spirit world that I am not so much into this world anymore. It's been more and more I leaving this world in that way, that I go into the spirit world. So I don't know if I am forced to go to that clinic that do this equipment, because it's very expensive to buy those things, and if I don't need it. But I maybe are forced, because the doctor is saying, why have you not going to that ear clinic and get your equipment? And then they don't go forward with the next step that I hope is to check out the brain. And so it's very hard, because it's a big process to check out the brain. And so I don't know if I need to do the hearing equipment first. But they should know, they should see that in the clinic, that I don't have any hearing loss. That is the brain that doesn't take in those sounds. So it's a long process, but it's going forward in this, and I hope they're still checking out my brain. And so this about my personal life, and then is it about this conflict and war going on in Israel. And it just now it have taken time Israel have said that they are going into tanks and going out, driving into Gaza to kill everyone that they can see, and go into the tunnel to destroy the tunnels, and we have waiting. And one thing is I don't know so much about political things, but I know in the military, because I have been in the military for a short time. So I have heard those strategy going on. It's very much psychology things also in war. And first is it that they are waiting, and they don't tell when they are going to attack Gaza on the ground. That is psychology, strategy to make the enemy be confused and don't know how to build up their defense. They don't know what day they will come. Israel is when they are coming. But second is that they are waiting for other countries to make a decision, and then they maybe infiltrate to build up things in Gaza that blow up the whole ground and blow up the tunnels. So they have some kind of preparing, but also this psychology that you don't know when they are coming, and you don't know how many there is that will coming. They say they have 300,000 extra military coming in, but you can't rely on anything when it's come to war. They can lie very much for you. Only this, that you say 300,000 extra will go into Gaza. And then they say those countries that is going to go with Israel into Gaza. It's a psychology strategy in war. So it's a normal thing to do. And then to make those picture, some movies that is fake, that showing bad things. I have watched the Palestine TV channel, and it's the same sequence they showing the whole time about a little child that is running into the hospital with, and some children that is wounded. But it's the same thing over and over again. So if you're watching that program, it's like, is there only 2-3 people to show that is wounded or killed in Gaza? So it's very much a lie, and we can't go for what we see and hear. We have to step away a little from it if we are not in the military or we are in those countries. And like I said before, that Russia take advantage of it because it's no eyes on the Ukraine war. And now when they waiting for this attack from Israel, then I see from the news they have started again talking about Ukraine and the war going on there. So it's going on, but the focus is on Israel now. And now when they're waiting, people are very short in their mind, and they be bored of this about Gaza. So they don't watch the news. Ordinary people don't watch the news because nothing happened. Why should they say something? They have said from day one almost the same thing, and people be bored. And I see it on this podcast also. When people are bored, they go. I don't know what they want it to happen here in this podcast, but I have followers, and it's why I do this. And then is it also that I say the date of the podcast, the recording, because it can happen that people come and listen at this episode for in 2025, for example. So I don't know when they are coming and listen. But I have followers I don't know how many it is because the platforms, I have three main platforms, but then they have branches to other platforms around the world. So I don't know how many followers I have, but I can see about what I can see from those main platforms is about 400 people that listen, follow me. And that I say from the beginning, if I have one follower, I'm going to recording my podcast, and I didn't had any listener on this podcast. I recording on SoundCloud. There was no listener yesterday. On Sundays I don't get listener. It's very few time someone listen or download on Sundays. So I don't. From the beginning, I say one listener if I have that, but that I was thinking one listener per day, but I need to look at this. If I don't have any listener about 3 days, then I stop this podcast. But very, very much is happening just now, and you will hear from Sweden in Europe area what's going on here, and today in the morning they told us that two people were killed in Belgium where they were on football, soccer playing. They were killed. They were Swedish, this support clothes. So of course the terrorist man, he saw that they were from Sweden and attacked them. So 2 men was killed and 1 is badly wounded in the hospital. And he was a Arabic. And I tell you that listen at the whole episode. I'm going to a hotel this weekend because I am targeting from these Muslims. I have got some threats from Muslims, and it can happen things. So I rest me mentally by going to a hotel to stay in the weekend. But I can only afford to go to a hotel once a month because I don't have that kind of money. But I'm glad that I have stored up food, so I don't need to buy food for a long time. So I know this with these Muslims people. They are very short in their way to, when they go angry at a person, after a while they are doing something else. They forget it. They, of course, if they see you, then they go angry again. But if you stay away from their eyes, then they forget because it's so much other things, and they have been educated, raised like that of their parents, that everything can change very quick. So they are very short in their brain in those things to come here and maybe blow up everything in my home and hope that I should be killed. So I go to a hotel this weekend, and I go in maybe to send an episode from the hotel. And I wanted to talk about what I have experienced of this with the war also more, because I was living in Virginia Beach, and you that don't know about the East Coast in United States, it is the world's most biggest navy on that coast. And when I live in Virginia Beach, I have people that I talk to that was working on the military base on those boats. And now if they have hard with the money before, all over the world is it that people are short of money. And now when it's war in Israel, they go out with a ship about in the middle of the way to Israel, because then they have going halfway to that place where it's war going on, and then they should come in and help. So just now, it's what I am not 100% sure, but they always go out with the boats, staying in the middle on the way to a place where there is war, and they wait there. And that means people that working in the navy yards in those areas, they don't get any money, because there is when the ship is in the harbor, they have work on those ships to do. But if the ship, like I suppose it is, that they have going half of the way out in the water and laying there and wait for instruction what to do, then people have no work, and they don't get any money. So that it's a problem in the United States when they do that. I don't think we do that. We don't have any war here in Sweden, but I don't know if all the countries do that. But in the United States, is it like that they go halfway out, staying out in the open water and waiting, and so open water so they can see on all sides, so there is no enemies coming and go into their ships. So they're laying there, and people have to go from their home because they can't pay their rents on those bills. So it's a problem. So this is what I come to know when I live in Virginia Beach. So it's much war is targeting many people, and many people are losing. Most are losing, but there is always people that be millionaires of war. There is get and lose in wars, and those that have the money, they go more wealthy. Those in the very top, like a Rothschild family, they go more, and all those other that we can read about in the very top. There is people that is wealthy that can lose everything, but those in the top, what they do. If you have money to place, they always split up the money. They don't place all the money on one thing. If they lose money in one place, they have maybe winning in another place the money. So they are in balance anyway. So they do smart businessmen not targeting one thing. They spread it out. If you have some extra money. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. And it's enough as I try to stop at 1 hour. That's longest your follower can listen at me. So God bless you, and we'll see if I recording next time at the hotel. Expensive hotel, but I'm staying there over the weekend so I could relax from these threats I have on me now.